Welcome to our third day of SOC Masterclass. So we started our SOC Masterclass with the basic. We understood about what is SOC, what are the operations inside an SOC, what are the roles and responsibility associated with an SOC, and how if an organization want to go with an SOC, if they want to implement, what key factor, what major factor they have to take care of. Then in day 2, we discuss about SIEM, okay, types of SIEM, okay, about the architecture and what are the capabilities of an SIEM. Today we are going to talk about cyber threat. As we are moving further, as we are growing, there are a lot of cyber attacks have been happening. Okay, now what all the cyber threat can be for an organization. After that, we are going to understand about IoCs, indicator of compromise. It's an again a very much key factor if you are into an SOC department. Okay, post to that we are going to discuss about incident, event and logging. Okay, and we are going to discuss about incident detection with an SIEM, how with an SIEM we can detect any incident. Okay, so this will be the agenda. So let's deep dive. So on your screen you can see our agenda for the day. So let's get started without any further ado. Okay, now first factor is what are cyber threat. Okay, now cyber threats are what? It's an act, okay, in which your adversary will try to attain or will try to gain an unauthorized access. Adversary means the attacker. Okay, so attacker will try to gain an unauthorized access to the organization network. How? By exploiting the communication path. Communication path is what? It's your network. So attacker will try to gain an unauthorized access of that network. Okay, with the attack, what is the major factor of an attack? There will always be an intent. Okay, without any intent, attacker is not going to perform any attack. So intent means what? It's a motivation. What is the motivation for an attacker? Motivation can be anything. Motivation can be an you can say amount. Motivation can be you can say attacker want to impact on their visibility. Attacker want to impact on organization. You can say the structure. It can be anything. Okay, now with motivation there are certain capabilities as well. Attackers capabilities, skills, techniques, tactics. Okay, how he is going to perform an attack. With an skill he is going to perform an attack. Without his skill he cannot do an attack. So skill has been required, tactics have been required, techniques have been required. We call it as an TTPS. Okay, tactic, technique and procedures. It's an adversary, you can say. With that adversary, attacker can target any organization, and along with that, opportunity. Opportunity is what? The vulnerability, which lead, or you can say the weakness existing into the organization, which lead to an attack with that adversary. Okay, so cyber threat is what? Cyber threat is an act that adversarial, the attacker is going to perform multiple attempts. Why? To gain an unauthorized access to the organization network. How? By exploiting it. Okay, if we have the vulnerability, if we got the weakness, we have to take an advantage of that weakness as well. Okay, so further to that, what we are going to do, we are going to exploit that vulnerability, exploit that weakness. Okay, so after exploiting that weakness, attack will be happened. Okay, now after every attack there will be an intent, there will be an capability, and there will be an opportunity as well. Intent is what? It's a motivation behind any target, or motivation behind any organization hack. Okay, now with motivation there are certain capabilities as well. Without capabilities of an hacker, you cannot he cannot perform an attack. Okay, so techniques and procedures have been required, and the opportunity. If there is no vulnerability, how the hack can be happened? So vulnerability, weakness. So attack with his knowledge, he is going to find out the weakness. Okay, so this is your simple definition of your cyber threat. Now, what are the different types of a cyber threat? Okay, now before to move into a cyber threat, let's discuss more about your intent. Okay, so as I said, intent is what? It's a motivation for that hacker to target any system or to target any can say valuable asset for that organization, so he can disrupt the organization, he can disrupt the business as well. Okay, he can do the manipulation of an data too, he can do a financial loss. Okay, he can take and revenge. Okay, there can be motivation, can be anything. Motivation can be an revenge, motivation can be an ransomware, motivation can be an manipulation of an data. Okay, so attack always comes with a motive, it always comes with a goal, with the help of an TTPs, with the help of an vulnerabilities. So T stands for tactics, technique, and procedure. Okay, so attackers will try various technique to exploit the vulnerability, to get inside that computer system, to get inside that network. Okay, so in terms of techniques, and procedure, he is going to refer the pattern, the methodology. Okay, so there will be always a pattern behind to every attack. So without a pattern, we cannot say that attack has been done, or we cannot perform an attack as well. So there will be always a pattern behind to an attack. Okay, so tactic is going to define as a strategy by the attacker, how he is going to perform an attack. At the beginning, we require the strategies. Okay, gather more and more information about your target. Once you have more information, then go with a technique, then use your technique, use your method to perform an attack. Okay, what is what is my end goal? To get an control to that device. Okay, then we have is your procedure. Procedure is what? Approach to follow that threat actor, or to launch an attack. We require a procedure. We going to identify the target. Who is our target? The employee is our target. Now how we are going to connect with this target? By sending an phishing email. Okay, contact with our target and get more information from his target with the procedures. There will be an entry point. Entry point is your network. After that, what we are going to collect? We are going to collect an information in the form of a document. Okay, so those are your TTPs. Now opportunity is what? Vulnerability or the weakness. Vulnerability going to refer the weakness inside the design, weakness inside your network, weakness inside your application. Error, look for the error, look for the loophole. Okay, so vulnerability for TCP IP protocol will be your HTTP, FTP, ICMP packets. Okay, SNMP, SMTP, these are what? These are your inherent insecure vulnerabilities. Vulnerability to an operating system. What can be a vulnerability to an operating system? If there is no patch has been released, no updates have been released, that can lead to an vulnerability. Vulnerability to your network devices. If you are not using a strong password, if you are installing a router at our home, make sure you reset the default password. If you don't reset the default password, anyone can get inside your network. Okay, if there is no authentication, we are using a VPN and VPN is not doing an authentication, it can lead to an vulnerability. Firewall vulnerabilities, insecure routing protocol, again it can lead to a network device vulnerabilities. What are vulnerabilities for different levels? So when we talk about network level, so here are different network level attacks. Okay, that can lead to an vulnerability or that can lead to an attack. So first is your reconnaissance attack. It's a very common nowadays. reconnaissance attack. So attacker, what he's going to do, he is going to discover his target network. He will try to get more and more information about the target network. Okay, and post to that, there will be an exploitation. Okay, and the very common, you can say, pattern will be, or very common techniques will be your social engineering or port scanning or your DNS footprinting, ping sweep. Okay, try to get the name of the domain of your target machine, try to get the network blocks, try to get your IP addresses of your target, try to get which service has been running internally, TCP or UDP. So as of now, if we are connected with an GoToMeeting, okay, so that means we are running, we are connected to certain service, and that service has been running into an UDP. It's a very fast service. It's not an TCP. We are running onto an UDP service. So attacker will try to get this information. Attacker will try to get the ACL mechanism as well, access control list mechanism. What network protocol? Okay. What VPN points have been used? Okay. What system enumeration has been used? So this is your first phase, reconnaissance attack. Get more and more information of your target. Once you have the target IP address, once you have the target can say network details, after that he is going to perform a network scanning. So attacker will scan the target network to extract more information, to see how many live hosts are there into that network service. Okay, if there is a live host, try to see what application is being used, what version of that application is being used, what type of an filter is been running in the firewall, what operating system has been used, OS version. ICMP packets have not been blocked. While doing a ping request, we can see if we are getting a ping reply, that means no ICMP packets have been blocked. If we are not getting a ping reply, that means ICMP has been blocked. So craft your own packet now. Try to connect with the port. Try to see how many ports have been running and which port is an open port. Okay, that we do into our step number 3, port scanning. Attacker will use his various technique to identify what is an open port in the target machine, and how that can be done with the help of a tool that is known as your nmap tool. He will perform a nmap scan. Okay, over here also we can use nmap, your zenmap as well, nmap as well. So these are the tools to do a scanning, to do a port scanning as well. Okay, then we have is your DNS footprinting. So DNS footprinting is what? DNS information. Okay, get the information of the key host in the network. How that can be done? With the help of a social engineering attack. Okay, there are DNS interrogation tools as well to perform DNS footprinting, to look for the DNS records, to provide an essential information about the location, type of service. Okay, at what point the host, what is the IP address of an host, what is the IP address of a domain mail server, what is the IP address of your authority mail servers, all those information. Okay, then we have is your network sniffing. Okay, now all this attack has been done onto your network level. Network sniffing is what? Sniffing or you can say monitoring or capturing all the data packets passing through that network. Okay, we also call it as an DNA trafficking, email trafficking, web trafficking. Okay, so organization often leave their switch ports open. Anyone is connected into the same physical location can plug into the network using an Ethernet cable nowadays, where it's very much easy. So attacker will use various sniffing tools, utilities to sniff into the network. Wireshark, again, it's a very best tool available nowadays. With that tool, we can see what packets have been running, what packets have been floating into the same network. Or let's suppose if I'm visiting any website, I can see what packet is been leaving from my device to the network to the destination. That can be captured with the help of this tool, Wireshark. Okay. Then man in the middle attack. It has also been done onto your network level attack. So, okay. So in this attack, the attacker will set up a station between the client and between the server communication. Okay. So he will use different techniques to split that TCP connection. client to attacker's connection or attacker to the server connection. So attacker will try to intercept between the connection. In case of HTTP, the TCP connection between the client and the between the server can be a target. Okay, so attacker will try to intercept between the connection. Okay, now after that we have other attacks as well. We can count under to your network level attack. We have password attack. Okay, so attacker will try to exploit the weakness if you are using not a well password, okay, or not very much you can say a good authentication of an password. So we have dictionaries available. Okay, so with the help of that dictionary, I can simply perform, or I can simply run that brute force attack or password attack. Okay, for example, I am using a simple password as if my name. So if we run a dictionary scan, it is very much easy to get this password. Okay, now there are other most common passwords as well. So by default, password itself a password. Okay, or root as a password, or administrator as a password. Okay, test, guest, these are your most common password are being used, such as your personal information. Nowadays people are using their personal information, name and the birth date, name of their children and the birth date, keeping them as a password. It is very much easy to crack with the help of these tools, password attacks. Okay, now this attacker will generally going to target the router, will going to target the services. That's why I said, whenever you are installing a new router at your place, at your home, make sure you are setting up a password. Don't use the default password. By default, it is coming as an admin as a ID and a password. Make sure you change it. Okay, so attacker will use his technique to brute force, to do a social engineering, to do a spoofing or a phishing attack to acquire such passwords. Okay, so there are different techniques as well inside your password attack. As I said, dictionary attack, brute force attack, we have hybrid attack, we have rainbow table attack. So anything can be used. Okay, other such example of the attacks into network will be your DNS poisoning, DNS cache poisoning, ARP poisoning, DHCP starvation, switch port stealing, MAC spoofing attack, DOS attack, again a very good example done onto your network, DDoS attack, malware attack. Okay, APTs, advanced persistent threat. Attacker, what he's going to do, he's going to send a malware and store that malware into your system, and whenever he want to connect with your device, he have already he have a backdoor. Okay, so whenever he want to connect, he will using that malware and directly will going to connect with your device. That is your advanced persistence rate, maintaining a persistence in your device. Okay, then we have directory transversal, CFRS, cross-site scripting attack done onto your web application, XSS attack. Okay, SQL injection attack. You might have heard about SQL injection attack. Now this SQL injection attack has been done where? Onto the database. Again, it's a network network attack done onto your network level. Okay, so attacker will try to target the database. Okay, targeting onto the client side, we have XSS attack. Okay, targeting onto the server side, we have cross-site request forgery attack. We have application level DOS attack as well. Okay, so these are few of the attacks done onto your network level. Okay, now next thing we have is your IoCs, indicator of compromise. Okay, now IoCs are what? Indicator of compromise are what? IoCs is the clues, it's the artifact, it's the piece of forensic data that has been found where? In your network or into your operating system of the organization. Okay, which indicates a potential intrusion or malicious activity is been done into your infrastructure, organization infrastructure. So IoCs are the clue. IoCs are the piece of an forensic data. When the forensic investigation has been done post the attack, what we try to gather? We try to gather an root cause of that attack. We try to gather an evidence. Okay. Now that evidence will going to give you the information about the attack. What type of an attack has been done? Those are your IOCs, the pattern of that attack, the clues of the attack. IOCs is going to act as a good source of information about threat that serve a data point in a incident triage process. Okay, as a SOC analyst, what we are going to do? We will be requiring this information. Okay, we will be performing continuous monitor to find out the IOCs. It will be very much effectively, it will be very much efficient to detect or to respond onto that cyber threat. Okay, now why are these IOCs are very much important? If we are into working into an SOC, why these IOCs are very much important? IOC is going to help a SOC analyst in detecting the data breach, detecting the malware intrusion attempt that has been done or that can be a threat. Okay, it is going to assist your SOC analyst to know what's happening or what happened or how the attack has been happened. Okay, not only that, it is going to help SOC analyst or your SOC people to analyze, is there any file is a malicious file, or if any user has downloaded a file and that file is a malicious file, so he can do an analysis, because we are doing what? We are doing a forensic investigation. Okay, we are going to analyze all the things. It will also going to help us to analyze whether the organization network has been compromised or not. It is also going to help us to find the history of a specific IP. If any IP has been targeting my network, let's check from where it has been targeting, from what is the source of that attack. Okay, from which location this attack has been done, who is the person behind to this attack. It is going to help us, or it is going to improve the response time with the help of this IOCs. We are going to upgrade our detection rate as well. Okay, so IOCs are providing your data feeds to your SOC analyst, which will be very much helpful for an auto response mechanism. Okay, that's why we require the IOCs. Now again, we have multiple IOCs available. Okay, or we can list those the IOCs for application security threat, IOCs for network security threat, IOC for malware threats. Okay, now this application security threat will be your related to the application. For example, it is very much difficult to detect first. Okay, so what type of a web application attack has been done, depending on to the stealth of the nature, or you can say depending on to the attacker, what he is trying to cover in that attack. Okay, now when you do a monitoring of an IOC to detect, and you detected a web application incident has been performed. Now with that web application incident, how you are going to indicate that it's a web application incident? Because your servers are not been responsive now. Okay, website is unavailable, application is unavailable, that means something has been happened into your server, something has been happened onto your services. You got an alert notification from the tool, like from your web application firewall, from your SIEM, from your IDS. Someone is targeting, or someone is trying to connect to our web application portal outside from this network. That means someone is trying to perform an attack. Let's check for the pattern. Some information has been leaked, sensitive data has been leaked from your web portal. Okay, if I'm visiting to the website www.infosectrain.com and it has been redirected to another website, again website has been compromised, your web page has been defected. Okay, if your network has been performing very much slow, boot request, or you can say boot frequency, servers is frequently booting up, again it can lead to certain attack pattern. Database logs are been showing multiple times. Okay, suspicious activities are been accounted. Again, it can lead to the application security threat. Okay, so few of the example will be a SQL injection attack. Okay, so in SQL injection, as I said, attacker, what he is trying to do, he will try to attack into your database. Okay, now how we can identify that some attack has been done or injection attack has been done? By looking at to the signature. Okay, so every attack, or you can say every file, comes with a signature. Your IDS is responsible for this, IPS has been responsible for this. They only understand the signature language. Okay, signature to the web server, signature to the database log files. Look for the pattern. Okay, how this has been connected. Then we have your command shell as well. Okay, so if any XSS attack has been attempted, so during that time, attacker, what he is going to do, he is going to use HTML tag, common XSS attack. HTML tags are being used, like a scripts has been used, opening of a script, closing of a script. In between, what we do, we give an input. Okay, so attacker will use obstacle techniques. He will try to use hex encode. He will try to use character encoding or white space manipulation. Then again, we have DOS and DDoS attempts as well, coming under to your application security threat. Now DOS attack is what? Performing an attack from a single IP. And DDoS attack is what? Numerous IPs are being used to perform a DDoS attack. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to look for logs. How many log requests have been generated? What is the time period of this log request? Okay, with the web log, you can say Apache log viewer. We can do this. We have multiple tools available nowadays. Apache log viewer. You can use that to see how many requests have been made from one IP, how many requests have been made from multiple IP source. Okay, then we have is your network security threat. Now, network security threat is what? Your servers or your systems have been compromised. Your servers have been compromised. Your database has been compromised, and your other network devices as well. So during this attack, there are very most common observers as well. In your network security attack, your system will going to send an alert. Your firewall is going to send an alert. IDS, honeypot, DMC. Okay, your antivirus is going to send an alert. There will be multiple failure in network login attempts will going to happen. Okay, unauthorized network privilege escalation will be done. Okay, so attacker will going to gain an access of a normal user, and after that he will try to gain an access to the root user. That is known as your privilege escalation. Okay, if your system has been rebooting continuously, multiple packets have been sent to an external network, again your network vulnerability has been leaked, your network is not available. Okay, so these are some of the observant that your you can say that your network has been compromised. Okay, now to detect, what we can do, we can go with network monitoring or network monitoring traffic or sniffing into your network traffic. We can do that as well. We can send up a malicious sniffers to check how to monitor our network. We can use network misconfiguration issue as well. If there is unusual behavior, okay, that can again give us the information. We can perform packet analyzer, we can perform log analysis as well, we can perform host analysis as well. Okay, why we do a pen testing? Okay, the main reason behind an pen testing, whether it's a network based, whether it's an application based, so why we do that? We cross check the control, we check for the vulnerability, we check for the loophole. If there is any loophole, patch it. So that's why we have these teams available, offensive team and defensive team. Offensive team is going to perform an attack internally to identify the weakness. Okay, and defensive team, what they are going to do, they are doing a continuous monitoring, or if there is any attack has been done, so let's overcome from this attack, let's get more and more information. So we can use multiple tools, as I said, to do a network analysis or to check for the packet. We go with a Wireshark, Very good tool available with your Kali Linux. Okay, you can do a deep inspection. You can capture all the live packets as well. You can check for the 3 phases. Okay, you can run the scan onto your Windows device, onto your Linux device, depending on what this OS you have been using. You can use it as per your requirement. We can capture the network data. We can be captured from the browser as well. We have GUI method as well. So either way, you can go with any of the. Okay, we have other tools as well. We have OmniPeak. We have PRTG network monitor. We have NetFlow analyzer. So these are few tools which we can, which SOC team can implement internally. Okay. Then we have is your IoCs for malware threat. Now malwares are what? What are malwares? Malwares are your malicious software. Okay. Now there are different types of a malware available. As virus, again, it's a type of a malware. The full form of a virus is vital information resource under siege. It's a type of a malware. Then we have ransomware. Then we have your Trojan. Okay, APTs. Again, it's a type of a malware. Okay. Now this malware, what they are going to do? They are going to disrupt your network traffic. Okay, they are going to display some or you are going to get a alert or a pop-up or an ad. Okay, if you are getting a blue screen, we also call it as a BSOD, blue screen of that. If any modification has been done, if any deletion of any file has been done, that means malware has been affected. You are receiving large number of unwanted email. Again, it's a malware affected. If your mails have been deleted or files have been deleted, again, some malware has been affected. Systems has been slowed down, or it's taking too much long time to reboot a system. You are unable to install the updates. Again, some malware has been affected. Okay. So with this we can detect, or with this we can say that our device has been affected with a malware. Now how we can detect this thing? Or we try to gather more information about that malware activity, because there are different types of malware I said. So we can do a live system malware analysis technique with the help of an port monitoring, with the help of your you can say process monitoring, registry monitoring. Any things has been changed into your registry, again malware has been affected. DNS monitoring, network traffic monitoring. Okay, we are going to monitor the files and folders as well. We are going to check for scheduled task as well. If any scheduled task is not been running, or additionally any other scheduled task has been running, okay, that may be unformed, or you can say affected by a malware. So that's why the scheduled task has been extra scheduled task has been running. Okay, we are going to monitor your browsers as well. Browser specific malware has been affected. He will try to capture your SSID. He will try to capture your can say cache history. Okay, if you search over the Google most vulnerable browser, you will get a list of all the browsers who are most vulnerable, and onto the top you will see the most common one, that will be your Google Chrome. Google Chrome is the most vulnerable browser. Do you guys know? Okay, if you are storing any password or saving any password in Google Chrome, avoid those things. Last year there are almost 3000 plus vulnerabilities have been listed. 300 plus vulnerabilities have been listed in one financial year in Google Chrome. More than 300 plus. Until that, there are more than 3000 vulnerabilities have been listed in Google Chrome. So make sure you don't save your personal information. Okay, if you are browsing it, it's completely fine. If you are using it on a daily basis, it's completely fine, but don't save your information. Okay, and try to move over to a more secured one. We have other browsers as well, like Firefox. It's better than Google Chrome, so try to use it. Okay, make a habit to use different browsers, or try to use into an incognito window. if you are doing foreign surfing, or if you want to visit any of the specific website. So you can use all those things. Okay. Now, how we can do it? With the help of your port monitoring. Okay, with the help of your netstat, with the help of an TCP view, we can check all the live analysis. We can go with a live analysis of the port monitoring. Okay, we can do a live analysis of your network monitoring as well, real-time files system checking. We can use virus total. It's a website. If you are receiving any email and in that email there is a URL. So what you have to do, just copy that URL and paste into the inside the virus total. It will give you the complete information about that URL, whether that URL is a malicious one or not. Okay, what you have to search in Google, virus space total, virus total. It's a very good website. Okay, if you want to check for a file as well, you can upload the file too. If you think so that this file is a malicious one, just upload the file. It will give you the information whether that file is a malicious one. It's a very good tool. It's a very good website. Okay, so this is how your website will look like. You can upload a file, you can upload a URL, or you can paste the hash as well. If you have an IP address, you can paste the IP address too. Okay, so what has been required? Just the URL, and give you the complete result of it. Okay, no security vendor has flagged this website as a malicious one. ArcSight has just given a suspicious one, given this information that it can be unsuspicious. Other than that, it's clean. Okay, so if there is any defect, it will give you the information. Malicious, malicious, malicious. Okay, so on a daily basis or on a regular basis, you can use it internally on a personal use. We have ISC for application security threat. We have ISCs for network security threat. We can look for the ISC for malware threat as well. Now, how about insider threat? Insider threat are what? Employees. Okay, so employees can be an insider threat for an organization. For that, how we can analyze, how we can detect? First of all, insider threat will give certain alert. If there is any insider threat, there will be certain alerts as well. Alerts as in data are been exfiltrated. Someone is trying to download more large number of data. Some files have been modified. Some files have been missing. There is a change of a network usage pattern. Multiple login failed attempts have been happened. Okay, any unusual behavior activity has been collected into the network. Okay, inconsistency into your normal working hour. Someone is trying to log in into your off working hour. Okay, so that can lead to an insider threat. Now how we can detect it? So we go with an again the same pattern. SOC team, what they are going to do, they are going to do a network analysis. How the network analysis has been done? With the help of an Wireshark, we are going to enable the filters of your network traffic. How much network you can say how much what are the usage of the network, how much is been utilized. Okay, look for the pattern, look for the connection. Everything can be collected from there and can be analyzed further. Okay, look for the FTP protocol, TCP connection, any other suspicious sniffing attack has been done, or any FTP connection has been done. Look for this. Look for the event viewers in your computer. If you are using a Windows computer or any other operating system, we have an option of an event viewer. So in that event viewer, we can analyze the event log of the device. How many number of an login failed attempts has been done. So we look for the event ID. So by default, with those event ID, we can check, we can do an analysis of the device. Okay, as an SOC, you must be aware of this event IDs. Event ID 2647 belongs to what? Event ID 2756 belongs to what? So get more information, get more understanding about the operating system. Okay, because we will be working into different platform. If you are working into a Linux platform, now where those Linux logs are been stored? Inside your varchar. Okay, inside your var, your Linux logs are been stored. Inside your in your Windows device, where the logs are been stored? Inside your event viewer, we can see the application log, security log, setup log, your system log, forwarders. All those information can be collected from there. Okay, for that we have event IDs available. So let's cross verify with it. When we started with the discussion of cyber threat, okay, now cyber threat, what I said, attacker, what he will do, he will try to gain an unauthorized access in the organization network. How? By exploiting it. What he will be doing, there will be an intent with an capability, with his knowledge, he will find out the opportunity to get inside that network. Okay, now this intent will be what? Intent will be, you can say, can be anything. Okay, now to perform an attack, we have three things. We have tactic, techniques, and procedures. So what are these? These are the pattern. TTP refers for an pattern. Okay, there is always a pattern for an attack. Now, how we can understand the attack methodology? To understand the attack methodology, we have cyber kill chain methodology. Okay, now who discovered this cyber kill chain methodology? There was a person by the name of Lockheed Martin. Okay, now Lockheed Martin, what he did, he was doing a research on an attack. Okay, now in his research he identified some similarities about the hack and similarity about the world war. Okay, so militaries back in World War II or in World War I, they are using certain patterns to perform an attack. Now those similar patterns are also used by the hackers as well. So what he did, he collected the information, he analyzed some information and created a methodology. That methodology, we call it as a cyber kill chain methodology. So militaries, what they were being using, they were using a methodology by the name of an F2T2 EA. Okay, it's their kill chain methodology. Now what are this F2T2 EA? F stands for find, identify the target. F stands for fix the target location. Once you fix the target location, track, monitor the target movement. Once you get all the information, then select the target. Select an appropriate weapon or an asset to use onto the target. Okay, once you selected the weapon, engage, apply the weapon onto the target and evaluate the effect onto the target. This is your F2T2EA, find, fix, track, target, engage, and assess. Previous to that, we were using 4Fs. Okay, now what are these 4Fs? Find the enemy, fix the enemy, fight the enemy, and finish the enemy. Okay, now from this F2T2EA, what he did, he created or he implemented or he discovered a pattern. Okay, and that pattern is known as your cyber kill chain pattern. If you see into the screen, this is your cyber kill chain pattern. First, reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, action and objective. Reconnaissance is what? Collect more and more information of your target. Once you have an complete information of your target, create a weapon that you are going to use onto your target. I am going to use a malware. What type of malware? I am going to use a Trojan malware, which is going to create a backdoor access. Okay, a weapon has been created. Now we have to deliver this weapon. Now how we are going to deliver it? Through an phishing email. Okay, we are going to target an employee and to that employee we are going to send an email. Okay, if we clicked onto that email, that will be an exploitation. And post to that, the malware will get installed in that device. Once the malware has been installed, attacker will be having a full access control to the device. That is his motto. Okay, so we go with the 7 pattern: reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, and action objective. Now this is what, again, a step-by-step approach. We cannot skip any of the step. Without having an information of a target, how I can select a target, how I can use the weapon into the target, how I can get an access to the target, because I don't have any information. Without a weapon, you cannot have an access to the device. If the weapon has been created, that weapon need to be delivered as well. So what do we have? We have a proper step-by-step approach over here. And who created this step-by-step approach? Lockheed Martin. He is the creator of your cyber kill chain methodology. Okay. Now what are this? These are your TTPs, adversarial TTPs to be used. You might have heard about Mitre as well. Okay. Now this Mitre attack, ATT-NCK. So Mitre is what? It's an organization. What they have done, they have introduced a methodology which is known as your attack methodology. Now this methodology is what? It will give you the complete information of the attack. Your cyber kill chain over here, it has been elaborated. This attack methodology is been adopted from this cyber kill chain. Further to that, it has been elaborated. Reconnaissance, resource development, initial access, execution, persistent, privilege escalation, defense evasion, credential access, discovery, lateral movement, collection, command and control, exfiltration, impact, complete pattern of the attack. And from where I can get more information of an attack, if we go over and techniques, here it is. To perform an attack, there are certain techniques to be used. Okay, not only that, what tactics are being used, we can look for. Okay, and if you go over in groups onto the left hand side, these are your most common attacks and complete information of those attacks. Now to get more information about this MITRE attack and cyber kill chain, I had already covered this in my last webinar recently, so you can watch the recordings of those as well. There I had demonstrated complete information how we can use this MITRE, how what is a cyber kill chain, and in a SOC or into our day-to-day life, how we can use this MITRE attack framework in a better way. So over the YouTube, you can easily find this in our InfosecTrain web, this YouTube channel about an cyber kill chain and MITRE framework. Okay, so from there we can easily understand the attacks methodology. Okay, or you can say the IoCs. Now, next very important thing is in our SOC or in our SIM is understanding about logs, event, and incident. Okay. Now logs are what? Logs are just a collection of information or data generated in the form of an audit trail. Okay, by the various component such as your network, application, OS services, it can be anything. So what we are doing, we are logging the process, we are keeping a record, we are storing the logs. Okay, if there is any event has been occurred into our network, so we have a log for it, so we can do an analysis, we can do an forensic investigation. It is very important source that is going to give an idea, okay, about the problem, about the flaw, and who is going to collect this information. SOC L1 team is going to collect this information. It is going to help us to detect the attack, any fraudulent activity, any improper use of a data. Okay, so let's suppose someone is trying to log in it and there are multiple unsuccessful login event. Now for that also logs will be collected, logs will be captured. 2 attempts have been done from this IP address, from this location. to this application, to XYZ application. Okay, 3 login attempts have been done to XYZ application by this time. Okay, so what we are doing, we are keeping a trail, we are keeping a record, we are storing in the form of a log. Okay, then we have is your event. Now event is what? Event is been observed if there is a change into our day-to-day operation. Okay, your system stopped responding, your network process stopped responding. Okay, that means your security policies have been violated. A event has been occurred. Your system is not responding, that means event has been occurred. Your network has stopped responding, that means a event has been occurred. Your security policies has been violated, it's been failed. That's why the network devices have been down. Okay, so event has been stored as a log again. Successful login event, successful logout event. Now those are what? Successful. It's an event. Successfully logged in the application, it will be act as an event. Now we have is your incident. Incident is what? Incident is an event that is going to affect the security of the organization. One or more event can be identified as an incident. Generally, it's an intention or it can be an unintentional as well. Attack has been done. So attack is an incident. Which type of an attack? Brute force attack has been done. Again, it's an incident. Okay, your web application, you can say SQL injection has been done. Again, incident has been occurred. Okay, so these are your major factors or difference between the log, event, and incident. Now, majority the victim holds the evidence in the form of a log file. Okay, so there are typical different sources for a log. For example, for Windows domain, we can get the Windows domain log. Okay, we can get your client and server file logs. Okay, we can get NAS access log, VLAN logs, mainframe log, database logs, switches logs. Okay, if you're saying Windows operating system, Unix or Linux operating system, collect the logs of those as well. If you're using a VPN, collect the logs of those as well. If you're using IDS or IPS, collect the logs. Okay, if you are using a firewall, collect the logs. If you are using any VS scan logs, if you are using any web servers, collect the logs. Okay, so these are the sources available. Collect the logs from all the sources, from the switches, from the routers, from the application, from the operating system. Okay, other devices have been connected into network, collect the logs. And why we require the log? What is the reason behind to this? First thing is, it is very much easy to identify security incident. Okay, we can do a monitoring onto policy violation. If there is any violation done into the policy, it can be identified. Any fraudulent activity has been done, it can be identified. Okay, any long-term problems have been happened, can be identified. Okay, we are going to ensure the compliance from the rules, from the laws, from the regulation. So that's why we require these logs. Okay, not only that, you can say, as I said, we are going to enable the login capabilities. Okay, now before to enable login capabilities, make sure why you require this log. Okay, you should know what to be logged, what log sources I want. For example, I want to store the logs of an application. Okay, so it will be very much useful. So first will be my application log. Second, what more logs you want, what more logs to be captured? Firewall logs, mark it into the list. Okay, so first identify what need to be logged, and after that where those log need to be stored, what method of login you are going to use, what tools is been required for the log, what log format to be used, that need to be ensured before enabling it. Okay, not only that, your team is should be capable enough to perform a log analysis, to do a synchronization of a timestamp, to correlate the data sources, to identify any malicious activity. If they cannot do this log analysis, it will be very much challenging down the line, because logs come with a different format, because in that there are multiple information have been stored. Multiple information as in you can say user identification information, date and time information, type of an event coming into an event ID. So you should be aware of the event ID, what that event ID belongs to. If some user has in you can say a user has logged in inside the laptop, now for that also event ID will be generated. So you should be aware all the small things. Okay, event originated point, description, severity, service name, protocol, what protocols has been used, if it has been running onto a network, what users have been which user has been logged on. With that event ID I can simply identify that normal user has been logged on or admin user has been logged on in the device. Okay, so these are the basic things you should be aware of. Network. Okay, on day one someone has asked me why network is very much important, because everything has been covered over there. Okay, if you are having a good understanding of a network, if you are having a good understanding of an operating system, it is very much easy down the line to work in this environment. Okay, over here it will be required protocols, users, severities. Okay, so while doing an analysis the skills are been required. Okay, now there are local logging system as well, and there are central logging system as well. Local logging system will be your laptop, that will be your devices. So what operating system has been used, so you can do an easy login list. If system has been crashed, if system has been shut down, or the system has been restarted, okay, so that means your host machine is generating certain logs. So let's look for the log why the systems have been crashing down. If there is a failed and successful modification of the user credential, that means someone else has logged in. Okay, let's do an log analysis. Okay, any malicious activities or a malicious application has been installed, for an installation also log will be generated in that system. So let's analyze, let's detect that. So that will be a local login. Then we have is a centralized login. Centralized login will look inside your network devices, not in your base devices, not onto your host machine. It will look for the network devices. Any change or implementation done into your network settings, any change done into your user access network, or any modification done into your network settings. Okay, firewall policies have been changed, that is been coming under to your centralized log. Now make sure get a basic understanding on registries as well. It's again a part of your Windows, because with an registry we can track down the event, we can track down the records. So the registries are going to provide you the standard, or you can say a systematic approach about that application. So over there also their events logs have been stored in your local machine SDKs. Okay, so you can track various event activities and functions through these logs. Okay, that is again a part of your Windows log. Then there are typical other entries to event viewer. Okay, let me show you how your event viewer will look like. So onto the left hand side, can you see Windows log for an application, for an security, startup, system, forward events. Okay, so over here you can get the complete information about the application, what logs has been captured, along with the event ID, complete details of it. Okay, how many total number of events have been occurred? More than 32,000. Okay, you can get and more information by selecting that event, and get more information by looking into the properties. Track that event as well. Okay, what type of an event, when that event has been occurred, complete information about an security, about an startup. So what you have to do, the search for the event viewer in your base machine, you will get all the information. So we have three formats inside it: application, we have levels as well, we have keywords as well, date time format you can check for, you can check for typical when the event has been occurred, complete details. Okay. For example, let's say in your search bar at the bottom, search for event viewer. Type there event viewer and you can open this application. So first event, now I have the complete information. Event log for an application, source ID, event ID is 1, level is information, logged in by what time date. This is my timestamp, date and time, source, universal print. Okay, event ID is 1. Okay, task category, none. Okay, so like this we can get more and more information. So here we have the event IDs. So what I said, event ID denotes with the information. Okay, just again, if you want to get more familiar with this event ID, what you can do, you can take the help of an Google as well. Okay, just search for the event ID followed by the number. You will get the information that this event ID belongs to what. For example, there is an error. Okay, application source is .NET, event ID is 1026, level is an error. Okay, when it has been logged, followed by the date and time and complete information. If you click onto the details, it will give you more information of it. Okay, so these are my logs. You can search for security as well, setup, application forward, event completely list of it. Category wise, source wise, all the things. There are different event types, as I said. Error, warning, information, success, audit, failure, audit. Error will give you indicate a significant problem that there is a data loss or function has been lost, okay, or service has been failed. It will be giving you such information. Then we have a warning. Okay, so it is not necessary significantly, it will give you the possible failure problem. For example, there is a disk space slow. Okay, again it's a warning, so event will be occurred for it, that low disk space. Okay, recover the application. If your application can't recover, again for that warning will be given. Loss of functionality of the data. Then we have is your information successfully operated. Okay, the drive, the service has successfully loaded. It is giving you an information. Then we have success audit. Okay, audit service access attempt has been done successfully. Then we have is your failure audit. Now when this record has been shown, when there is an audit security access has been attempt or audit security has been failed. Okay, for example, if user is trying to access network drives and he failed to log in inside that network drive, so there will be an failed audit event has been generated. Okay, so with this we can monitor all the activity, analyze the Windows log by looking at to the name, source, event ID, the flag, all those information. And again, if you want to flag this, so you will be seeing onto the right hand side filter content log. So from there you can do an filtration. We have a feature available with an filter. We can do an action pane as well. We can apply those filters that what type of an log I want to see. I want to see only the logged out log 3125 log ID. Is there any log ID by the number of an 3125? We can do an filtration. Okay, so with this we can analyze all those activity, system log entries, application log entries. So by installing, by removing any packages, by installing any application, system has been restarted or function has been failed, again for that log it will be logged. Okay, while doing an forensic investigation, again this is a part of it, of an investigation. So what you are doing, you are doing an investigation by doing an analysis. Look for the policies, look for the group policies. For example, my device has been compromised. Okay, and hacker, what he has done, he has attacked and installed a malware in my device. After doing an attack, what he has done, he has uninstalled that application. Okay, now once the hack has been done, after that application has been removed. While doing an investigation, I can identify that what application has been installed. How that can be done? By looking onto the registries. Okay, not only that, by doing a further investigation, I can easily identify, because when we install an application, after that some of the files have been stored. We call it as a prefetch file, and we can capture those files. Even after uninstalling that application, those files will not be deleted. It will be there in your prefetch folder. So from there we can easily identify that which application has been installed, and after that it has been removed. We can look for the cron job. What cron job has been running? A scheduled task has been running at the back end. Okay, again, from where I can get this information? From in registries. Okay, so make sure you are having a good understanding of in Windows about in registries, about the log, about the event IDs. Okay, what audit privileges have been used, success or a fail? There are two privileges, there are two actions always. One will be a successful, one will be a failure. Okay, now what action has been denoted in your account policy, in your audit policy? If audit account is been logged under an event, either a successful, either a failure. Now why it is a failure? Because login failure. Why there is a successful? Because login successful. So there will be always a two action based onto the group policy or based onto the normal policy. Now this was for the Windows. Now what if I'm using a Linux? A Linux device, a Linux operating system. Now where I can get all these logs? In Linux, the logs have been located in your var slash log directory. Okay, and these logs will be stored in your plain ASCII format, in a plain text format. Okay, system logs will be stored into your syslogd. Okay, it will be again processed under to your log system. Okay, now this is specifically for your Linux. Okay, Linux machines have been used, absolutely yes, because if you want to do a pen test, for that Linux operating system has been required. Again, for that also, for other sources also we use a Linux machine. So make sure we are having a good understanding into a Linux as well. So where the logs have been stored under to your var log, we have message logs as well, we have HTTP logs as well, we have boot logs. If you are using any MySQL database, so for MySQL database there is an mysql.log. Okay, if you are going with an authentication, now for that also we have an authentication log, where those authentication logs have been stored under to the same directory, var log. Okay, in Windows we call them as a folders, and in Linux we call them as a directories. These are the difference between your directory and the folders. Okay, now whenever I'm saying a directory, that means it's a folder. Okay, now in which directory it has been stored? It has been stored under to your log directory. Okay, mail, your mail logs have been stored under to your var log qmail directory. So these are the source. Now how this what are the format of a Linux log? So typically it will be in coming into an three format. First one will be a log, second one will be a severity of a log, and third will be a log file location. So something like this. This will be your type of log, followed by severity. Let's say it's uncritical. Okay, followed by the location. So it's var log critical, log location. Okay, so this will be the format of your log file in Linux machine. Okay, now severity has its own defined numbers as well. For an emergency we have 0 level of severity. For alert we have an 1. Okay, these are the severity values. For critical, it is 2. For error, it's 3. For warning, it's 4. For notice, I guess it's an 5. For information, it's an 6. And for the debug, it's an 7. So these are your severity values. Okay, again it comes with an extension as well. So if it is an emergency, the extension will be .emer. If it is an alert, the extension will be the log extension will be .alert. If it is an critical, .crit. If it is an error, .err. These are your conditions. If it is a warning, 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 warning condition. If it is a normal, so for that there will be a notice condition, .notice. If it is an information, .info, informational message has been getting out. Okay, so these are what? These are your severity of the log in Windows, in Linux. Along with that, there are certain extensions. Now, how we can open this log file? We have a command for it, cat, followed by the file name. It is going to display the content, what is there inside and file. If you want to get a trail command, you go with a trail dot by the file name. It will give you the, it will display the last 10 line. Okay, what has been written in that particular file. Okay, if you want to do an privilege escalation, let's suppose it is not having a read write policy for that file, so you can escalate the privilege as well from an root user. Okay, so first get an access to the root user, and from there you can change the permission of that file. So it is also again a very easy task to change a permission. We use can say we use certain attribute to change the permission, to do a modification of the users as well. We use certain attribute. Okay, now first I told about Windows, second I told about Linux. Okay, now apart from Windows and Linux, we have Mac as well. Okay, many of the users are using Mac devices, and many of the organization are also using an Mac devices. Now in Mac OS, where this event have been configured, they have been configured manually inside an log activity. So first we have is your user privilege escalation, then we have application malfunctioning, then we have troubleshooting event, failed login event, installation file deletion event. Okay, all this information have been configured. Now what type of logs are been stored, and where these logs are been stored in your Mac devices? It will be stored under to your private slash where slash log directory. So Mac security related log information will be stored under to your secure.log file. Now where this file will be found? This file will be found in this location. If you want to look for a firewall log, slash private slash var slash log slash app firewall dot log. For Mac also, some directories are very much similar because Mac has been sitting on which platform? In your Linux platform. It has been built onto your Linux platform. The base platform for a Mac is on Linux. So it is very much to understand. It is remember as well. Private var log directory. Okay, so this is your first part, and after that we have multiple log file in fact. So this is one file which I told about your main log, about your firewall log. It will be stored under to your same location, and there will be an another file by the name of an p firewall. If you want to look for error logs, same location followed by errors underscore log. It will give you uh, error related information. Okay, if let's say if a device has been connected and after that it is not been functioning, again error will be fetched. For example, I have connected the printer but it is not connected successfully. Okay, because we need to install the drivers. There is a driver failure as well. So for that error you can say error will be displayed, and that will be captured under to your log, and this is been stored under to your error log. Okay, network interface history, your IPs logs, your post time whistle log, timestamp, complete information will be stored. Now in that log file, what you can get. First of all, you will get the date, okay, followed by the host service, where it has been hosted, which service has been running, and after that the message. Okay, so you will get the complete information about that Unix. This is the format of your Unix log. Okay. Now, these are the few information about Mac log, Linux log, and Windows log. There we have firewall logs as well. Okay, then we have router log as well. Then we have web service log as well. Then we have centralized log as well. Okay, so again, they will be playing a crucial role for an SOC team, because you are going to analyze all those things. You are going to collect the information, whether you are connected virtually or whether you are connected remotely. Okay, let's say I'm been working from home. Now I need to collect the information. Okay, I need to collect the logs as well. So we are using a VPN. Now go with a centralized log. Okay, analyze those log files, analyze those, monitor those log file. Okay, choose with an detection, choose with an identification. Okay, store those log, store in one source, in a one centralized unit, in one centralized location, and after that we can easily import the data from that log file. We can easily do an analysis of that, of those log files. Okay, so that's why we go with an centralized logging as well. This were few information about your log, event, and incident. Okay, now what if an incident has been happened? How we are going to identify it? So again, alert will be generated. So we have a SOC team, we have a security incident team, we have a SIEM team. So what they are going to do? They are going to detect this information. How it has been detected? Yesterday we have discussed about it. Detection, reporting, event management, and log analysis. So report what controls has been used, what policies has been used. Under to that policies, if anything has been escalated, okay, so we go with an event management. We monitor all the activity into a live environment. We go with an incident management. We go with a response team, and alert has been generated. We started analyzing those activity. Okay, this is your security analytics, or we also call it as an SIEM event management. Okay, now with this SIEM event management, we can do an detection of your you can say any event or any incident. Okay, so with this we can easily report it. We can identify the incident, and we can respond to that incident or to that event. Okay, so for that we already having a leave brand function. Okay, we also call it as a security analysis. That's why we require a SIEM solution. Okay, why we require the SIEM solution? Because we are going to go with an identification. We are going to check, improvise our log analysis. We want to analyze, we want to detect this threat against to the organization, and it will be very much easy to manage all the logs which is coming from different sources. Okay, not only that, it is going to support your forensic investigation as well down the line. That's why we require the SIEM. Okay, and for that there is an architecture. If you remember, yesterday we discussed about architecture as well. How those logs will be collected. First it will be collected, then normalized, correlation, stored in database. If it is an event, given notification. Okay, along with that, do an analysis, forensic investigation, and then go with the report. Not only that, the logs will be stored for a longer period of time. So that's why with this we can easily identify and detect the incident with the help of an SIEM. So this was a quick overview about the cyber threat, about the IoCs, about the incident, event, and logging, and the detection system with an SIEM. Okay.